All right, Shane, final game of the week. Game of the week here. Let's hope this one is a great game. SEC on CBS, LSU at Ole Miss. The Rebels favored by 9.5 points. The over-unders 76 total points. And I don't know if you saw this, Shane. They're honoring Eli Manning. They painted the end zones Manning. And, oh, how convenient. Arch Manning is going to be there on the sideline. So, hey, they're manning it up this weekend there in Oxford. Who do you like in the matchup?
Oh, Mike, I tell you what, a lot of stuff happened last week with LSU. I mean, we had the big upset victory. We had Coach O getting fired, but not really fired, a lot of that going on. We still got players banged up. That's the big one for me is LSU still limping into this game. And Ole Miss, is Matt playing? Is he not playing? I mean, have we heard anything coming up to this final moment?
Well, here's what I've heard, Shane. Here's the hot rumor. And, Mel, I said it this week. I think if I'm LSU, I'm hiring Lane Kiffin to run my program, and I think Coach O would be on board with that. It'd be a very smooth transition. The way I hear it, Shane, I think Lane Kiffin threw this out there, the Matt Corral injury, which, hell, you saw Coach O immediately say, well, I ain't buying that. That's nothing but a smoke screen. Yeah. I think Lane Kiffin threw that out so that to kind of deflect, his interest in the job, and so he wouldn't be asked questions about LSU. He's getting more questions about Matt Corral and his status, and he knew if he, arguably the Heisman frontrunner is he going to play in this game? That's a huge talking point. And every interview I've heard with Lane Kiffin, that's what they asked. That's the first question they asked. They don't ask about. I saw one person ask him about the LSU job, but hell, I think that's another stroke of genius here by Lane Kiffin to kind of deflect. So that's what I'm hearing, and I think Matt Corral, there's no chance he does not play. He's suiting up for the Rebels this week.
And that's why I'm locking this one up, Mike, because I'm with you, man. I think not only is he playing, but I think this is a statement game. I know a lot of people were excited about the upset victory Coach O was able to pull off the LSU Tigers last week, but this week's a different animal. You got a team that loves to score points. Trust me, I've seen it. And it could have been more points if some of these receivers would learn how to catch the football. I'm telling you, Ole Miss is that damn good. And they can put points up in a hurry. And that's exactly what I think this thing gets into. I mean, look at them. They're saying it's going to be a 70, 80-point game. It's going to be another shootout. Who do you favor? Do you favor LSU? I mean, what have they shown you this year that says they're going to be able to compete and stay up with Ole Miss? I'm not seeing it. I think Matt comes out here, gets a statement game, and like I said earlier, this is an audition, man. This is an audition for Lane Kiffin. You just said it. Arch is going to be on that sideline. Whoever goes to LSU, I'm telling you, he wants. This is an audition, not just for LSU, but for Arch Manning, man. There's so many factors. This is a package deal. And if you think this shit ain't going on behind closed doors, you're crazy, because if Lane seriously has an opportunity to get this job, he's leaving. I hate to say it, Ole Miss. I love you guys. I met some of the greatest fans this weekend, but this is not his dream job. LSU's a dream job. This game is going to be ugly. And I'm going to go ahead and lock this bad boy down. Ole Miss 49, LSU tries to backdoor it 27.
Well, Shane, I don't know if you made this pick, if you realize Coach O, he's 5-0 against Ole Miss. LSU
5-0. Coach O's unemployed, Mike. That's
LSU, one of the only teams in the country, Shane, 19 for 19 in the red zone. Only 3 teams in the country are perfect in the red zone. And LSU, hell, they got that ground game going now, Shane. The receivers are starting to get going. And I think it makes sense why this spread is so much that, they just worked the Florida Gators. But I went back and watched that game, Shane. First time I watched it, I was at the bar with no audio. But, it helps when you're on your rewatch, you realize they run for damn near 400 yards. Yeah. They got 4 interceptions of the Florida Gators. They were picking them down left and right. Yet they didn't win the game till about a minute left, and they needed a 4th and goal, a wild pass play just to get the win. If you rush for damn near 400 yards and intercept the opponent 4 times, you probably should win by about 20, 30 points.
Yep.
That surprising outcome, I thought it was the biggest shock of the weekend last week in the SEC. Had that not occurred, LSU's probably a 20, 30-point underdog against Ole Miss. So, I ain't buying into LSU just yet. I've been pumping them all year. Now I'm burying them, but I think Ole Miss is that good. It's like you said, it's the Manning week here, and whether Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss or he doesn't, he's going to want to impress Arch Manning. I think he's trying to get Matt Corral to be the Heisman Trophy winner. I think he's trying to get Matt Corral to be the number 1 overall pick, because that's how you impress a quarterback, Shane. And after we just saw Matt Corral rush for over 200 yards, I think he wants to show, this is an offense you can rush for 2+. Now you can turn around the next week and throw for 400 yards. So I'm right there with you, Shane. I think this is an easy pick. Ole Miss 44, LSU 33. The Rebels cover. And I hate to say it, Shane, I don't have a damn game here that's competitive on the schedule, which means they're probably all going to be scheduled. This is probably going to be the greatest weekend of SEC football we've ever had. You know what?
Well, Mike, it's exactly what I was going to ask you. We got 5 games. We both predicted 5 blowouts here. Let me ask you, playing devil's advocate here, out of all these upsets, which one's, all these games, which one is most likely to be an upset? Not saying that it will, because obviously you've already put your scores in, but as you're looking at these lists, these 5 games, which one on here do you see a potential upset? Most likely.
I would probably have to go to the game we just touched on, Shane, LSU, and I don't know how much you buy into this stuff, but maybe the team plays inspired for Coach O. Maybe they've been playing a little tight because they know his job's on the line. Well, they don't have to worry about that anymore. Now he's gone. So I think that, you take that off the table. And hell, everything I just said against the Florida game, but hey, they went out there and they got it done. So maybe this is the LSU I thought we were going to get. They're going to be able to run all over Ole Miss because, hell, Ole Miss doesn't have that good a defense. And if LSU's running all over them, there's going to be about 20 fake injuries in this game. But Ole Miss, LSU's got the offense to stay competitive, and maybe this defense, maybe something clicks, Shane. Like I said, they got 4 interceptions last week. What if they get 4 interceptions this week and keep that momentum going? So, they certainly have the players. They certainly have all the pieces to pull an upset here, but I just ain't buying it.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. And, there's always a chance that Matt is hurt.
Yeah.
This is, you got to throw that in there. But I don't know. I just think the stars are lining up here, Mike. I think Ole Miss wants to put on a show like they did last week. So that's what you do, man. You got to stay in the media. You want to make Ole Miss relevant, you stay in the media every week. Now, you don't want to take water bottles to the head, but you definitely want to throw some damn touchdowns while you're out there. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Well, hey, brother, I think that's all we got, unless you got anything before we hop off the line here.
Well, Mike, I want to tell you, man, I'm they don't call me procrastinating Shane for nothing, so I'm glad. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of you guys do too. Some of these reviews that I see, it's like, hey, I've been listening for 3 years. I finally got to get the review in. So I ain't alone, Mike. You know what I'm saying? So we are going to cut this one a little bit short. Not a lot of games going on, but man, hopefully we do get an upset here, Mike. I'd love nothing more than get on here and do an emergency podcast this weekend. The reviews. Again, those do help us out tremendously, and we've got some hilarious ones, and I'm going to get to that, I promise. So next week, I may have to do a whole damn show just for the reviews, and I'm going to do it because I do appreciate the support. But we're going to cut out a little bit early here, and be sure to keep sending those pictures of koozies, man. I tell you, I saw more koozies this weekend than I did any weekend, Mike. It looks good with that cold beer in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been sending them out left and right, and if you have been procrastinating, like Shane says, now's the time to get that done. Rate us 5 stars on the Apple Podcast app. Send us your review screenshot at that secpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what team you support, and we'll send you a beer koozie free of charge. That's just our way of saying thanks. But hey, I hope everybody has a great weekend of action. Have some fun, drink you some beer, and that's going to do it for this episode. I appreciate each and every one of you for listening to the show, and I appreciate you, Shane, for joining me as always. Catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys. Go Vols. Trap game.